रामाय रामभद्राय रामचंद्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः. Uttarakhand, chapter number 10, Brahma confers boons. The recitation begins now. Then Rama spoke unto the ascetic, O Brahmana, how did those exceedingly mighty brothers carry on austerities in that forest, and what kind of penances were theirs? Thereat Agastya said unto Rama of a complacent mind, the brothers severely observed the morality proper to each, and Kumbhakarna, putting forth his best energies, constantly abode in the path of righteousness. Remaining in the midst of 5 fires in summer, he practiced austerities, and in the rainy season, soaked in the water poured down by the clouds, he sat in the Virasana pose, or the heroic pose. And in winter, he always remained in the water. Thus passed away 10,000 years of that one, putting forth exertions in behalf of religion and established in the path of honesty. And the virtuous Vibhishana, ever intent on virtue and pure of spirit, remained standing on one leg for 5,000 years. And when he had completed his term of restriction, swarms of apsaras danced and blossomed showers, and the deities hymned him. And for another 5,000 years, he adored the sun, and with his mind concentrated in the study of the Veda, remained with his head and hands raised up. In this wise, Vibhishana, like a deity in Nandana garden, passed away 10,000 years, observing restrictions. Dashagriva passed 10,000 years without fear. On the completion of 1,000 years, he offered his own head as a sacrifice to fire. In this way, he passed away 9,000 years, and 9 of his heads entered the fire. And as in the 10th year he intended to strike off his 10th head, the Great Father presented himself at that place. And well pleased, the Great Father came there along with the celestials. O Dashagriva, said Brahma, I am well pleased with thee. Do thou, O thou cognizant of righteousness, at once ask for the boon that thou wishest to have. What wish of thine shall I realize? Thy toil must not go for nothing. Thereat the 10-necked one, bowing down his head unto the deity, said with a delighted heart, his words faltering with ecstasy, O reverend one, creatures have no fear than that of death, and enemy there is none that is like unto death. Therefore immortality is even what I crave for. Thus accosted, Brahma spoke unto the 10-necked one, Thou cannot be immortal. Do thou therefore ask me for some other boon. Thus addressed by the Creator Brahma, Dashagriva said, O Rama, standing before him with joined hands, O Lord of creatures, I would, O Eternal One, be incapable of being slain by birds and serpents, yakshas, daityas, danavas, and rakshasas, and the deities. For, O thou that art worshipped by the immortals, anxiety I have none from any other beings. Indeed, I deem as straw creatures such as men, etc. Thus accosted by the Rakshasa, the 10-headed one, that righteous-souled one, the Great Father, along with the celestials, said, O foremost of Rakshasas, what thou sayest shall come to pass. Having, O Rama, said this unto the 10-necked one, the Great Father again spoke, Here, I, having been gratified, will confer on thee a fresh boon. O Rakshasa, O sinless one, those heads of thine which have been offered as sacrifices and which have sunk into the fire shall again be thine. And, O placid one, I shall also confer on thee another boon difficult of being obtained. The form that thou shalt wish to wear shall instantly be thine. As soon as this was spoken, the heads that had been offered as sacrifices into the fire rose up again. Having said this unto Dashagriva, the grandfather of all creatures addressed Vibhishana and said, O Vibhishana, gratified have I been by thee, whose intelligence is established in righteousness. Therefore, my child, O righteous soul, O thou of excellent vows, ask for the boon that thou wouldst have. Thereat the virtuous Vibhishana spoke with joined hands. O Reverend One, since the spiritual preceptor of all creatures himself is pleased with me, I deem myself as furnished with every perfection, even as the moon is environed with the rays. If thou wilt bestow on me a boon with pleasure, then, O thou of excellent vows, hear of the boon that I would have. May my mind remain fast fixed on righteousness, even when I shall happen to fall into high peril, and may I attain the knowledge of the supreme absolute truth without any instruction. And may every sense of mine sprung during the observance of particular modes of life be in unison with righteousness, so that I may practice the form of religion in harmony with any other mode of life. O exceedingly noble one, this best of boons is even what is sought for by me, for nothing in this world is incapable of being attained by those attached to righteousness. Then the Lord of creatures, being again delighted, spoke unto Vibhishana, as thou art virtuous, so all this shall come to pass on thy behalf. And inasmuch as in spite of thy having been born in the Rakshasa race, thy thoughts, O destroyer of enemies, do not originate in sin, I confer on thee a long life. Having said this, he intended to grant boons unto Kumbhakarna. Thereat the celestials in a body represented to the Lord of creatures with joined hands. On Kumbhakarna thou shouldst confer no boons, since thou knowest in what manner doth this wicked-minded one frightens people. And O Brahma, 7 Apsaras in Nandana, 10 attendants of Mahendra, as well as sages and human beings have been devoured by this one. Considering what this Rakshasa did when he did not obtain any boon whatsoever, if he were to obtain one now, he shall eat up the 3 worlds. Do thou then, O Lord, having immeasurable prowess, pretending to give him a boon, give stupefaction instead. Thereby the welfare of people would be secured and the honor of this one shall be maintained. Thus addressed by the celestials, Brahma, the lotus-sprung one, pondered. The goddess Saraswati, who was by his side, was also agitated with anxiety. And remaining by him, Saraswati with joined hands observed, O Lord, I have come here. What work shall I accomplish? And the Lord of creatures, on having heard, spake unto Saraswati, O Vani, be thou the goddess of speech of this foremost of Rakshasas, favorable unto the deities. Having said, so be it, she entered within Kumbhakarna's throat, and Prajapati said, O Kumbhakarna, O mighty armed one, do thou ask for the boon that thou wouldst have. Hearing those words, Kumbhakarna said, O God of gods, my wish is that I may sleep for many, many years. Thereupon saying, so be it, Brahma, along with the celestials, went away. The goddess Saraswati also left the Rakshasa. And on Brahma, accompanied by the deities going to the celestial regions, he was renounced by Saraswati and he regained his consciousness. And then the wicked-minded Kumbhakarna sorrowfully thought, what is this speech that has today come out of my lips? Meseems I had then been stupefied by the deities that had come. Having thus obtained the boons, the brothers, endowed with flaming energy, going to the Shleshmataka wood, began to dwell there peacefully. Mangalam Koshlendraya Mahaniya Gunapte Chakravarti Dhanurjaya Sarva Bhomaya Mangalam.